Welcome back. We are continuing on with our Linux installation. And the next thing that we're going to want to install is we're actually going to be installing Anaconda. And Anaconda is a data science platform it's a collection of tools, and it comes with a Python distribution, some Python packages, modules, libraries that are really commonly and universally used for data science. So we can start by going to the Anaconda downloads page, and I'll just Google. We'll go to the individual edition. This is the open source free edition. It calls itself a data science toolkit or platform. It's open source. It comes with Conda, which is the package manager. This is actually the main thing that we're going to do with Anaconda. We can also manage environments, which is a great utility. It also comes with all of these other things: NumPy, Spider is an IDE, an integrated development environment. SciPy is a group of scientific packages. Jupyter is Jupyter Notebooks and Jupyter Labs. You'll be using those in the DSI. Boca's a data visualization library. PyTorch and TensorFlow are deep learning neural network frameworks. And Matplotlib, another data visualization. Pandas, a data manipulation. Scikit-learn, machine learning library. So a lot of the machine learning stuff that you're going to need in this data science toolkit, as well as an open source community. So we're going to go down here all the way to the bottom. You'll want to download, in all likelihood, the 64-bit x86 installer. x86 is the type of architecture that your processor is built on. All Intel and AMD processors are built on this x86 architecture. If you had a Power 8 or a Power 9 processor, it would be really likely that you would be really aware of it, right? Typically, these are architectures that I think were developed by IBM, and they're typically used in like really big server, sort of like supercomputer applications, which most of you are likely not using at home. But you could go ahead and click here, and it would get that download installed. You'd go ahead and hit save file and hit OK. I have actually already downloaded this a couple of times, a matter of fact. So I'm going to cancel that download. I'm going to close out my browser, and then I will cruise up, get a terminal open, and let me make sure this is large enough for everyone to be able to read what I'm typing. I'm going to go ahead and switch to my downloads directory, and then look at what I have in there. And I could see that I do have this file in here, this .sh file, Anaconda3, the 2020-07. So I want to install this, and I see that I have a .sh file extension. That indicates to me that this is a shell script. And just to give you an idea of exactly what we're talking about, we can look at this shell variable, and we can see that we are using bash. Now, bash is a shell interpreter, right? And you might be thinking, what is a shell? It turns out that this thing that we are typing into our terminal, right, this is a shell. This is a place where we can interact with our computer. And specifically, the shell interpreter that we are using, the shell interpreter interprets our Unix commands and executes them, is called bash. And that's also what we are going to use to run our shell scripts. And we can do that by using the command bash. And I will just put in my file. I have more than one file with this name. I have this one with the 1 on the end of it. This was because I accidentally downloaded it twice, and it just added this 1 on to the end of it. I'm going to use just the regular one. Go ahead and execute this. It's going to say, oh, do you want to install this? You're going to have to review the agreement for the licensing. And it's going to give you the typical lawyer stuff that you have to hit enter, scroll all the way through, make sure that you read it very closely, just like always when you agree to these things. And when you get to the end, it's going to ask you to answer yes or no, whether or not you agree to the terms and the conditions. I'll go ahead and agree to that. And then it's going to say, oh, we're going to install this into this location. Is this okay? Press enter to confirm. I'm going to say yes. And it actually gave me an error. I started this installation before and didn't finish it. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that old installation. We'll do a relative path. I want to go up one directory, and that's going to put me in my user directory, and then I want to delete that Anaconda3 directory. So now if I run this file again, I'm going to have to go through the same process that I did the first time. Type in my yes, hit enter. Now that there's not a directory there, it will go ahead and complete the installation. This is probably going to take a couple of minutes. I'm going to go ahead and turn off my microphone, and I will chime back in when it is time to move on to the next step of the installation. So we can actually see that our installation has come to a stopping point. It says, do I want to, in the installer, do I want to initialize Anaconda 3 by running Conda init? And I'm going to go ahead and say yes. And then whenever we're making changes, I think I said this in the VS Code video, whenever we're making changes having to do with the terminal, we always need to make sure that we go ahead and close this terminal. First, I'm going to open a new instance of a terminal. Then I'm going to close this old one. Let's get this new one zoomed in as well. Make sure that that font is nice and big for everyone to see. I think I might have gotten one too far there, though. See if I can't even get it to go smaller. View, zoom out, Control plus minus. Anyways, we've got our new terminal here. I want to make sure that Conda was installed, and I'm going to go ahead and check that by hitting Conda info, and I get this nice little return when I do Conda info. It tells me I'm in the base environment, gives me the directory where Anaconda 3 has been installed, tells me a little bit about what I'm doing, which Python version I'm using, etc., etc. So that's our Conda installation. Conda can be used to manage environments. Conda can be used for a lot of things. I'll actually just bring this up. We have Conda manage environment. We have some nice documentation here. This is really powerful things. You can actually have different environments for different projects, different types of work. You can export those with a project to make sure that someone else that's building your project can be using the exact same set of tools that you used to build it originally. Things of that nature, clone an environment, activate, switch between different environments. If you'd like, that's something that you can explore on your own, and I would encourage you to. The documentation is very clear, and it's really pretty easy to work through here. So I'll let you go ahead and do that on your own time. That's going to be it for this video. In the next video, we're going to actually have to downgrade our version of Python because this Anaconda installer gave us version 3.8.3. We can actually go in here and open our terminal, and we can say Python. I can just go -V, or I can go -little version, and it will tell me I'm in Python 3.83. We're going to downgrade to Python 3.7.7. We did talk about the environments, managing different environments. One thing that we do see here is it will always indicate which environment you're in. And right now we only have one environment, that's the base environment, and we can see that's the environment that we are in here, over here on the left. So that's it for this video. Look forward to seeing you in the next one where we'll be downgrading our Python. After that, all we have to do is make sure that we know how to use the command line, VS Code, and Anaconda all together. Make sure we know how to open and use a Jupyter notebook, and then we are going to be done with our environment setup. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.